Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting day of mathematics. Whoop, whoop. Warm-up number 19 is on the screen. Now, by now, we should be able to do all these four pretty fast or expeditiously. We got the first two is simplify, and number 3 is to solve, and number 4, GCF. I'll give you guys about 6 minutes. Let's get this done so we can get started, please. Copy and go. Please, number 1. Jessica, what'd you get? 3x squared y minus 3y plus 4. Hands, have you got that? That is correct. Number 2. Oh, it's frozen. Hold on. Let it go. Have you guys heard that song? Let it go. Like 1,000 times. My goodness. Number 2. What'd you get for number 2? Jaden, go. 3x to the 4th plus 16x squared. Oh, third power. Plus 29x squared. Plus 20x plus 4. Hands, have you got that? Looks about right. Thank you. Number 3. Can you give us a solution set, please? Dylan, go. Solution set of x such that? $15. Close. Shall we never see what do we need to fix there? What can we fix? Christopher. 10 is what? Less than x, yes. No, this is right. The only thing, the 10 should be a what? A negative, yes. Yeah. Hands, have you got that? All right. And GCF. Fredo, what'd you get for GCF? 9. Hands, have you got 9? That is correct. All right, copy the agenda for today. Here we go. Agenda for today, we got warm-up number 19. We're continuing with factoring polynomials. And tonight's home play is a play sheet Q. Last night was play sheet A on factoring. Today I changed a couple things, but it's also 10 problems. Play sheet Q. It should be in Canvas. So once you copy the agenda, go ahead and turn in your home plate from last night in Canvas and get a blank sheet of paper ready for Cornell notes, please. Give you some time for that. All right, so our objective for today, I can factor polynomials. So today is going to be extra practice for the process, but I'm going to tweak a couple more things on those polynomials just to see the different types of polynomials that we're going to be dealing with. However, one cautionary note I do want to point out, and it's being recorded, once again, tutoring is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 3:30. That gives you time after the bell to go to the restroom and come back and join us for tutoring. What do we do in tutoring? We finish the home play. So if there's some of you that are struggling with what we do in class, that's why you're not completing the home play, then you should be here Tuesdays and Thursdays. However, today we have open house. So today there's no tutoring because I got to go right quick because I have to go get stuff for the parents and come back. So we'll continue with tutoring on Tuesday. But other than that, every Tuesday, every Thursday. Okay? All right. So with that said, oh, and on the side note, tell your parents to come to open house, yeah? And have them come by and get some Starbucks, yeah? Let's go. That's how I roll. All right. Do we know what polynomials are? Yes? All right, so we don't need a Ferrier model because we know the definition, what they look like, what they don't. And yesterday we revisited GCF just with numbers, yes? From there we went to just variables, yes? Then from there we combine them, and from home plate you had 3 problems that dealt with GCF, okay? From there we started with binomials. From there we went to trinomials. And then from there we said that there were 3 steps that we're going to be following, yes? First thing is to check for standard form. Next thing to find the GCF. And at the end to simplify or factor. So from there we did practice with a process in regards to factoring trinomials, and here they are. I gave you 3 different problems. And the process was the same. We need to check the first 2, which is standard form, GCF, and then from there we follow the process correctly for the rest. But then, notice on these, all these 3, none of them had a GCF till we got to this example. On this example from the beginning, we said that GCF was 4, and then the rest of the process was the same as the others. But we said that at the end, don't forget to bring down the GCF to be part of the factors. And how many factors did we end up now at the end? 1, 2, 3 factors, one of them being the GCF. Okay? So today, to practice the process one more time, we're going to do some more of these. Yes? Copy this one. Example 2q. Negative 3y squared minus 12y minus 9. Negative 3y squared minus 12y minus 9. All right. So let's do this one together. What is the first thing we check for? Standard form. Is it in standard form? Yes, from highest to lowest. Okay. Second thing, GCF. Is there a GCF for all 3 terms? Yeah, what number divides all 3 terms? 3. But what did we say? If the leading coefficient has a negative, that means the GCF is included with the negative. Okay? So, open parentheses. So let's see. What is negative 3 divided by negative 3? 1y squared. What is negative 12 divided by negative 3? That's positive 4. Bring down the y. And what is negative 9 divided by negative 3? Positive 3. All right, and from there, we continue with our process. What goes on top? The third, or the 3. Why? Because the leading coefficient is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. There it is. That's our product. What goes below that number? 4, because that's the middle coefficient, and that's our sum. So what 2 numbers multiply give me 3 that when you add them give us 4? 1 and 3. Okay. So far so good? All right, so then we're going to bring down the first term, which is y squared. We bring down the last term, which is plus 3. So basically, we're rewriting this trinomial. But now instead of writing 4y, I'm going to replace 4y here with what? 1y and 3y. So plus 1y plus 3y. All right. Next, group. That's why this is called factor by grouping. And I know some of you are like, Mr. Q, do we have to do all this? I'm all yes, because this is a different type of factoring, and I'm embedding it in the whole process. It's just some muscle memory, yeah? All right, so next, what is GCF for the first 2 terms? What's the same here and here? Y, and we're left with y plus 1, okay? Next, what is GCF for these 2? What's the same? Or what divides both terms? 3. So we're left with y plus, what is 3 divided by 3? 1. So, what's the same here and here? Well, the y plus 1. That's our first factor. Y plus 1. What's left over for the first one? The y. How about for the second one? Plus 3. So we're left with y plus 3. However, for these, what did we say? Don't forget the GCF at the end, or your BFF. There it is. So these are my factors. How many? 1, 2, 3 factors. How are we doing? Yes? All right. Crank it up a little bit. All right. Copy this one. Example 2 super cube. 4x squared y squared plus 32xy squared plus 60y squared. All right. Tell your neighbor the first thing you check for, please. Yeah, standard form. Let's see. What's the degree of this one? What is 2 plus 2? That's 4, so this is 4th degree. This is 2 plus 1 is 3. This is 2, so yeah, it's in order. GCF. What number divides 4 that divides 32 that divides 60? 4. What else does each of the terms have in common? The y squared. All of them have a y squared, so I'm going to bring that out with the GCF. All right, let's see what we have left. We took out the y squared on all 3 of them, so we don't worry about that. Let's go with the numbers. What is 4 divided by 4? 1 what? X squared. What is 32 divided by 4? 8, bring down the x. Plus, what is 60 divided by 4? Yeah, 15. From there, I'll give you a head start so you can finish off. Go. All right. So there's a work for that one. Once again, what are we trying to imply? That make sure you check for standard form, make sure you check for GCF, bring down the GCF at the end with all the other factors, and that's part of the factors at the end. Now, if I was to ask you to check this, so think about this. Factoring, we said it was a way of dividing, yes? So if we're dividing, how can we check our answer? Yeah, multiply, which is the opposite. We will multiply these 2 binomials, and then at the end, multiply the GCF into the trinomial, and we should get the same thing that we started with, okay? All right, so far so good. I think for the first 3 of the home plate was GCF. For the next 4, I think it was just all positive stuff. But then I started giving you the negatives. Did you guys notice that on the home plate? Yeah, there were some negatives in there. So let's do some of those. I want to clarify some doubts today. Copy this one. Example 3. X squared minus 8x plus 15. X squared minus 8x plus 15. Now the process continues remaining the same. There's just little things in between that we need to think about. So first things first, is it in standard form? Yes. Is there a GCF? No. So Power Rangers, there it is. What number goes on top? 15. That's our product because the leading coefficient is 1. You multiply that times 15. That goes on top. What's the number that goes underneath? Negative 8. Yes. Now we're going to start dealing with negatives. All right. But the process is still the same. What 2 numbers multiply 15 to give us 8? 3 and 5. Let's start with 3 and 5. Well, first of all, both of them positive. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 plus 5 is positive 8. But this is a what? That means that both of them need to be what? Negative. Let's see if it works. What is negative 3 times negative 5? 15. What is negative 3 plus negative 5? Negative 8. That is correct. It does work. All right, let's continue. Bring down the first term, x squared. Bring down the last term, plus 15. And then, instead of writing a negative 8x in between, what do we write? Yeah, negative 3x and negative 5x. Negative 3x and negative 5x. So far, so good? Yes, Mr. Q, we love these. All right, good. Parentheses for the first 2, parentheses for the last 2, but now since we have a negative in here, I'm going to put a little plus sign in between those 2 parentheses. So, GCF for the first 2 terms. X, and we're left with x minus 3. GCF for the second 2 terms. 5, and this is a negative, so it's negative 5. That leaves us with x. 15 divided by negative 5 is negative 3. So, what's the same here and here? X minus 3, that's my first factor. What's left over? The x and the negative 5. And that's my other factor. Okay? From 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with this? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 fourths, yes. We got this. So I'm going to give you one almost very similar to this one. You should be able to do the whole thing by yourself. Here we go. Example 3Q, x squared minus 12x plus 27. I'll give you a head start. Should be done within a minute or so. Copy and go. Yeah, it's a good question. They said, does it matter the order? No, it does not. Let me show you why. Question. Yes, go ahead, Ivan. What is 2 times 3? 6. What is 3 times 2? Same thing, right? So therefore, here, if you write x minus 3 times x minus 9 is the same as x minus 9 times x minus 3. So that means that over here, if we have negative 3 times negative 9, is the same as negative 9 times negative 3. Doesn't matter how you begin, you're going to get the same thing at the end. Okay? All right. So far, so good. Can we crank it up a little bit? Here we go. Copy this one. Example 4. X squared plus 2x minus 3. X squared plus 2x minus 3. So, is it in standard form? Yes. Is there a GCF? No. So, what goes on top? What? Yeah, negative 3. Yes, that's our product because there's an invisible one here times negative 3. That's negative 3. What goes underneath? 2. Now, these are tricky because your noodle's going to want to play tricks on you. Watch. What numbers multiply give me 3? 1 times 3. But if we multiply them, we need to get a negative 3. That means that one of these two has to be a negative. Now, let me show you how to figure that one out without thinking about it too much. Look up, please. Whenever this is a negative, one of these two has to be the negative. Well, this number, the sign of this number, was going to tell you the sign of the biggest number of the two. Which is the biggest number between 1 and 3? 3. What sign is 2? What sign is 2? Positive. That means our 3 is positive. That means 1 has to be our negative. See how that went? Okay, let me show you again. Look up, please. Don't copy this. Negative 4. What two numbers multiplied give us 4? 1 and 4. But one of them has to be negative, right? Because this is negative 4. Well, how do you know which one? Well, look at this number. What is the sign of that number right now? Positive. So the biggest of these two has to be our positive. That means that the other one has to be the negative. Let's see if it works. Negative 1 times 4, negative 4. What is negative 1 plus 3? Plus 4? That is 3. You see how that works? And that's going to work every time. So with that said, let me erase this. Let's continue from there. Bring down the first term. Last term. What goes in between instead of 2x? We're going to replace that with what? Negative 1x and positive 3x. Negative 1x, positive 3x. All right. Let's do factor by grouping. This is called what? Factor by grouping. This is called what? Factor by grouping. Okay, so GCF for these two is x. So if we took out an x from there, we're left with x. We took out an x from there, we're left with negative 1. Next, GCF for these two, positive 3. So negative 3x divided by 3, that's x. Negative 3 divided by 3, that's negative 1. So, what's the same here and here? Well, we got x minus 1. And then we got x plus 3. These are factors. Factors. And have you got that? Okay. Let's do another one. Are we hammering the process today? Yes? All right, here we go. Copy this one. Example 4 super Q. X squared plus 4x minus 32. You should be able to do this one by yourself. It's very similar to the one we just did completely. Copy and go. I'll give you a head start. All right, so it looks like everybody got the correct answer by the looks of it. But here goes the process one more time. Now I'm not going to use any colors just to go a little bit more expeditiously. So standard form, yes. GCF, no. Negative 32 on top. Positive 4 underneath. Factors of 32 that add up to 4. That's 4 and 8. One of them has to be a negative. Well, what sign is this 4? It's a positive. That means the 8 is a positive. This one's the negative. Therefore, bring down the x squared, bring down the negative 32, and these two will replace the 4x. So I'm going to write negative 4x plus 8x. So far so good, yes? From there, group. GCF for these two is x. We're left with x minus 4. GCF for these two is 8. We're left with x minus 4. Factors, x minus 4. What else? X plus 8. These are my factors. Hands, if you got that, it's gold. All right, so shall we crank it up a little bit more? Yeah? Oh, yeah. Copy this one. Example 5. X squared minus 2x minus 15. You're like, oh, snap, it's all of a sudden filling up with negatives. Oh, yes. All right, so let's see. Is it a standard form, guys? Yes. Is there a GCF other than 1? No. So then Power Rangers, what goes on top? Negative 15, that's our product, yes, because the leading coefficient times negative 15 is negative 15. And middle coefficient is negative 2. All right. What two numbers multiply to give me 15 that if you combine and give us 2? Now check this out. You can think about it like this. 1 15 and 3 times 5. Which one of those comes close to 2 if we combine them with plus or minuses? Not this one, so it has to be what? 3 and 5. Okay. However, look up. Isn't this a negative? Yes, that means that one of these two has to be negative. So therefore, let's look at the sign of this one. What is the sign of that one? So the biggest one is 5, so that's our negative. So let's bring this down. We got x squared, negative 15. And instead of writing negative 2x, we're going to replace that with 3x and minus 5x. Positive 3x minus 5x. All right. Group. Put a little plus sign here in between because now we have the negative inside. So GCF for the first two is x. We're left with x plus 3. GCF for these two is 5, but this one has a negative, so it's negative 5. So therefore, we're left with x plus 3. So my factors are x plus 3, which are here and here, and x minus 5, which is here and here. These are my factors. How many? 2 of them. Okay? All right. So do this one by yourself. You should be able to finish this completely. Example 5, mega Q, x squared minus 8x minus 20. All right? Should be able to finish like in a minute. Copy and. All right, so from here, we got Power Rangers. We got negative 20. And we got negative 8. So what are our two factors here, Anaya? Negative 10 and 2. Hands, if you got that in any order? Yes, that is correct. So therefore, bring this down, x squared. Bring this down, negative 20. And the negative 8x became these two down. For those of you that are still struggling with this, remember, start with the 20 and get all the factors. What are factors of 20? 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 4 times 5. And then you ask, which one of those pairs, if I combine them by adding or subtracting, gives me something close to this? Would it be this one? No, because that's too far apart. Would it be this one? Maybe, but if I add, it becomes 9. If I subtract, it's only 1, so no. So it has to be this one, and that's when you figure out which one is negative, which one is positive. All right, from there, this is replaced by negative 10x and 2x, negative 10x, positive 2x. Let's group. So GCF for the first 2 is x. We're left with x minus 10. GCF for the last 2 is 2. We're left with x minus 10. So my factors are x minus 10 and x plus 2. And these are my factors. Once again, remind your neighbor how to check these, please, if you end up with that. All right, we good? How do you check them? Dulce. You multiply them, yes? Distributive property, area model, or vertical. Okay? So, from 1 to 5, how comfortable are you up to right there? Okay? Yeah, so we're cruising down the beach, right, on our beach cruiser with all these polynomials, eating our burrito. Tomorrow it's about to get in fuego. We're going to kick this up a notch. So with that said, get a blank sheet of paper. I'm going to give you a head start with the home play. I'm going to post it up here so you can get started with the home play. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the video at this time. Once again, your home play for tonight is play sheet Q, numbers 1 through 10. All right? And once again, remind your parents to come in the afternoon, get some coffee or some water. And I'll see you guys then, hopefully. Bye. Enjoy your home play.